People always assume that my drawings are charcoal drawings, but they're actually nothing like charcoal drawings. I use Dura-Lar, which is a really thick, sturdy plastic. I sand it to make it translucent and textured. My main drawing tool is etching ink, which is very thick and sticky like tar. With gloves, I smear the etching ink all over the surface to create really dynamic marks. The etching ink is pretty barbaric looking though, so I go back in with lithographic crayon pencils, and those allow me to do more specific lines and details. The Dura-Lar is thick and sturdy enough that I can actually scrape like crazy. For me, the scraping has a really expressive quality to it. It can be really tight cross-hatching, which is very controlled. But I also feel like I can use it in a really aggressive, spontaneous manner. This has got to be the strangest thing I've ever done as an artist. 11 years ago, I did a series of drawings based on my personal experience with depression. I was looking at these haunting sculptures of veiled women. The folds were so expressive, I wanted to add a similar effect on top of these portraits. I needed a really concrete reference though, so I wrapped myself in plastic and translucent fabrics. I shot tons of these creepy selfies, and these became reference images for these drawings. I like that I was able to control the tautness or looseness. With the utility knife, I scraped in those folds in the reference photos over the face. Compared to the earlier versions, this was a much more ethereal, atmospheric look for this drawing. People are often very impressed with detailed drawings, but there is such a thing as too much detail. This is a series of self-portrait drawings I did based on my personal experience with depression. These are big portraits, which actually made it a lot easier to do serious detail. I see that because I put detail everywhere. There's no hierarchy and contrast. Because everything is brought to the same level of detail, it becomes monotonous. I was too reliant on the reference photos that I shot. I wasn't selective enough about what to emphasize because I emphasized everything. Many years later, I picked up these portraits again. With a razor blade, I probably scraped away at least 40% of these portraits. I added passages where the edges were a lot softer and parts of the portrait became less recognizable. I drastically reduced the amount of detail. But now the details that remain actually feel important.